Well, hello, and a very, very warm welcome back to Garden Club again. It's already the third week in November, and as always, there are wonderful things to share from the garden and from the countryside and from our new flower farm, which is beginning to take shape. Anyway, there is much to do this week, so not too much of my talking, just to say we're going to plant some lovely pansies, Forerunner, and some really lovely parrot tulips, really gorgeous ones, which I shall put a picture up later on. And first of all though, the other day I recorded something for you, which is a little tour along our new path on the flower farm. So let's do that now, and then we're going to see Liz as well back at base, and go on from there. So let's get a move on. No more talking. On we go. Well, here we are on tour on the new flower farm. Those are all the plants that I showed you last week, and that pile of wood chips, those piles of wood chips that I showed you, are diminishing because here we are, we've got the start of our paths. In fact, you are the very first people to walk down our brand new main path. So here we go, look. There's a little treat in the new flower farm. On we go down past the enclosure with your plants in them to the first set of beds that we're going to be planting into the cut flowers. There's some Sweet Williams in there. That's a variety that we planted together already. Those are the auricular-eyed ones. We've got those with you already. So on we go to the end. Well, not the end actually. It's not the end, because the end goes on further, you see, because we've got a line on the ground which you can't see, and it goes right on through here, because over here are going to be some more beds on that side, like that, and it comes through to this cane here with the string, and looking back that way, this is how far through that long path will go, with beds all the way down this side. And then looking up the slope, we have room for bed after bed after bed, annuals, perennials, shrubby things, all sorts of foliage plants, lots of lovely flowers. So there's a little tour for the third week in November as to how far we've got with the new flower farm. There we are. So now, it's time we planted our next crop of winter pansies. These are a lovely variety called Forerunner, which we grow each year, and they're really reliable. They'll mainly give us some lovely flowers early in the spring, from about sort of mid-January onwards. They should be absolutely lovely and go right through, right up until we're planting out the first of the bedding plants for the summer. You know, we'll get right into May and these will be blooming. And they're a classic pansy, so you know, a lovely big face with a nice blotch in the middle. They're a good pansy, if there can be such a thing. All pansies are beautiful, really good. On my list of favourite things, as are many other things. So here we are. Look, they've grown well. They started off in the propagator in the greenhouse. I think I showed you the sowing of these back in the summer, and then they were pricked out by Liz, as always, and now it's time in November for us to put these in. They've made good roots. There you are, lovely roots. So more lovely things to look forward to later on. So exciting. Sort of, there's never a time of the year when there isn't something joyful to do in the garden. Even in November and December, which many people would think perhaps weren't the most joyful months outside. But actually they're really busy. Busy. And this year, setting up the new flower farm, we're double busy. So that's even more exciting. As I've said before, more of that very soon. I'll show you more of what we're doing. Good. There we are. Some lovely Forerunner pansies. They're going to be lovely. I wish I could show you well how beautifully the sun is shining on these. It's making them glisten beautifully. It's lovely. What's next? So now it's time to plant our second tulips. We planted some lovely red tulips the other week called Sea Dove, a really beautiful red tulip. Well, these are parrot tulips and they're really exotic looking. I hope you like them. I think some people like tulips to look like tulips, but I love parrot tulips, so I want to share them with you and share the joy of these. And we've got more lovely tulips to plant in due course, so panic not if parrot tulips are not your thing. There we are. As always, tulips are lovely bulbs. They're a very distinctive shaped tulip. In they go. We put 5 of these in this sort of middle-sized pot. Here you go. Lovely. They'll be all right. I'll tell you a funny thing. I probably shouldn't tell you this because you already know I'm daft, so you just know I'm a bit dafter. At base here we use different sizes of pots, and the pot that I normally bring you, that most of our plants are in, Liz and I call billies, as in, you know, Bill and Ben, the flower pot men, if you're of a certain age. We call those billies, and these are a little bit smaller, so we call these baby billies. And we have another one which we call a weed, which we don't use very often with you, but we have a weed, as in little weed, because it's a different shape again and smaller. So there it is. You knew I was daft before, now you're sure I'm daft. Woohoo! Right, parrot tulips in the pot. There we are, with some wood chips. Try to keep them away from where the squirrels are if you can. So don't put them too near the bird table, because they, you know, they like that. Squirrels will think this is food for them, so be a little bit careful with that and try and keep them away from that. I know many of you love your squirrels and they're very lovely, but not when they're eating your tulips or your crocuses or your snowdrops or your irises. Not good. Okay, right, there we are. So a label again, there we are, so we know what they are. Your lovely parrot tulips. These will flower later than the red ones, more sort of you know, properly into April. I always say that March is the month of the daffodil and April is the month of the tulip. In reality, of course, daffodils will start sort of in February and go on into May with the fancy narcissus, and the tulips will, you know, carry on probably at the beginning of May as well, but it's a rough idea. So that's your tulips in. That's lovely. Lovely. One more lot of tulips at least, if not 2 more lots of tulips to plant before we finish our planting for the spring. So back at base, Liz is just pricking out some ranunculus that we planted the other week in trays to bring them on, and they're going into the pots now, the 3-inch pots. There we are, look, lovely bit of greenery there. Beautiful. When we first plant the ranunculus, they're like little claws, which we soak first of all in water, and then put them in the tray like that, 12 of them in a tray, and then we plant them on into these individual pots, grow them on a little bit more, and then we'll plant them out in the ground, and some in trays, in bigger pots later on. There we are, look, lovely root. Look at the lovely roots of that one. Really great. They've really grown on well. That's brilliant. Look at that. Right. How lovely to see that. That's a great job to be doing in the 3rd week in November. How lovely. Brilliant. Thank you. So there we are. there's a little something from Garden Club for this week. It is a joy to be with you. I, of course, look forward to the day when I can be back with you in person, but in the meanwhile, it's so good to be with you like this. And so, until next week, until we can share some more joy from the garden, do take care, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.